Welcome, welcome, welcome. What song do you have in your heart today? Something melancholy, something joyful, something sweet, something childlike. If you're here, you're meant to be here today. And today we're going to step into the wild unknown. And we're going to talk about death. And I have glimpses and limited and yet extensive understanding of death. My father committed suicide. My cousin died. I've met my stepdad who died on the spirit realm. I've spoken with these people. I, as an oracle, have the one eye. If you see through your single eye, which is your double self, and that eye, that white eye, instead of the physical eyes, you see the wild unknown, which is the invisible realm. And we have writings here on this earth that talk about life and death. And so what I was told to present to you guys today are a couple of things. Number one, we're going to do the looking glass for some of you who have lost loved ones. All right. And we're going to see if we can find some answers from an organic, I know nothing point of view. Say, I know nothing, and let's see what we can see. But we're going to talk about Lazarus. And the reason we're going to talk about this today is because my best friend's son just shot himself, and he died yesterday on the 11th. And I did a reading for him many, many years ago where I saw that something was wrong. And I told my best friend about it. I said, you need to watch out for him and everything. And we're going to talk about Lazarus. We're going to talk about it from an alchemical point of view, from an allegorical point of view when it comes to the Bible. We're going to talk about it from your dreams, from our personal ideas and interpretations. But I don't want to bring conventional religion into it, because we've been told something for so long. We've been brainwashed. And I was told to read you guys what Jesus says about death, because I didn't say this to my best friend this morning. I spent the night with her last night. Talk to them. According to the Bible, they are asleep. And I didn't want to argue with her because, first of all, what do I know? And secondly, I view the Bible differently than she does. So let me tell you what Jesus said. So Jesus was late. Martha and Mary asked Jesus to come, and Lazarus was his friend, and to come and heal Lazarus before he died. But by the time Jesus got there, he was already dead. And so Martha said, you're late. You're late. And Jesus said, well, your brother will rise again. And Martha said, I know that he will rise again in the resurrection on the last day, And Jesus said, no, I am the resurrection and the life. Whoever believes in me, though he died, yet he shall live. And everyone who lives and believes in me shall never die. Do you believe this? And then she said, well, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. And then Jesus said, well, did I not tell you that if you believed, you would see the glory of God? And so they took away the stone. Jesus lifted up his eyes and said, Father, I thank you that you have heard me, and I knew that you always hear me. And so then Lazarus came back to life and lived until 60 AD or something afterward. So then I look up, what is Lazarus in Gematria? It is 892. So this is the number 19. And if you look at the parallels, it's the spirit of truth, the phoenix suns, modern technology, God of love, the person looking for the egg, the plasma apocalypse, Let's see. Higher love, forgive me. Vitamin C, intelligent energy. Horrific death, the sin of Hagia and Sophia. There we go. What else does it mean? Love of God. Royal blue. Unlocked boxes, the zero light, so 0 point energy. The prophet, 8-8. Valentina. Mission. So there are so many parallels that are kind of significant and incredible. And so from my point of view, I go back to John the Baptist's head being cut off and Mimir from Norse mythology. And the idea is when you become illuminated and you have the truth and the life energy within you, though you die, yet you live. So on the spirit realm, I was shown by some robot that my husband killed me and choked me. And then my consciousness bounced into a parallel body. So though I died, yet I lived. I didn't experience death, right? And I saw, I've seen many things on the spirit realm where my stepdad who died went to a parallel reality where he had a wife and children. And so is this an allegory that Jesus didn't actually bring Lazarus back to life, but that he was able to show them Lazarus as a parallel timeline or a parallel body? Or did he literally bring Lazarus back to life? And if Jesus said, there is no death when you believe in me, then you don't go to sleep. Then you're not sleeping. You don't ever die. If you believe me, you won't ever die. You will not experience death. So, Spirit said to show you guys something about the essential oil of spruce. And so we're going to do that for a minute. Spruce essential oil comes from a tree. And for some of you listening today, this may be something that you need. Because if you have trouble sleeping, if you're having emotional issues, then Spirit is saying, smell the tree of spruce. So today we're going to learn about spruce. I'm going to actually make a little spruce necklace and a spruce thing with 24 karat gold, and I'm going to wear it today because Spirit says some things in the outer world awaken things in your inner world, and this is one of them. So spruce essential oil helps with emotional well-being. So if you're having a difficult time, it may help boost the level of an individual who is feeling sluggish or because it's a stimulating scent. It stimulates you. And so it's perfect for meditation and things like that, but it helps you to relieve muscle pain. It helps to relieve difficulty in breathing. If any of you have difficulty breathing, spruce is a great one. It helps to balance your hormones. So if you have hormones that are out of control, this essential oil helps with your equilibrium, your adrenal glands, your pituitary and your thyroid glands, and it helps with your energy to carry out that work. So it helps to regulate over secretion of hormones within your body. Some of us feel like we're not ascending appropriately, but it may be a physical thing, and that's why this is being brought to you. So if you want to be brought back to life, quote unquote, let's read about this. So it may help prevent tectonic muscle contraction, speed up wound healing, help prevent stomach inflammation. It helps initiate sleep. It improves your brain function. So the performance of your brain, like memory loss or decrease in cognitive function, it helps to improve your brain function. It helps to reduce and prevent yeast infections. It improves your immune system. Number 11. Your immune system is responsible for maintaining the body to fight against disease. It helps you to grow your hair, and it helps to boost testosterone levels. So, conclusion, spruce trees are arguably amongst the oldest trees. And so not only are they the oldest, but they contain energy and wisdom that we need to tap back into. And that is the wisdom that there's a possibility, like John the Baptist and Mimir and Lazarus, that we don't die. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to drop some spruce essential oil into this necklace, which is a tree. And then I'm going to put some in this little bottle here. It's my little baby bottle. Call it little baby bottle. Here we go. I'm going to put the cork in that. And then you open up the little Matchbox Fairy. You put the little necklace in there. Close it. And it actually, let me show you how this works. It actually glows in the dark. You see it glowing? See it glowing? Whoa. You never die. You glow. And so I'm also going to put, this is edible 24 karat gold. And what I'm going to do is while I'm doing my readings, I'm going to put the spruce necklace around my neck with the 24 karat gold. I'm going to put the 24 karat gold in here like that. And I'm going to allow this to activate my heart chakra, and the energy of the ancient and the most ancient spruce tree is one of the oldest trees in the world. We're going to talk to the tree today and talk to the tree of life. And if you guys have deceased loved ones, let's ask some very fundamental questions about life and death and see what Spirit says, because I could be wrong, but I see that it's more that we shift timelines, that some kind of technology, like the name Lazarus, paralleled with modern technology. Hold on a second. I'm going to put you on a clip while I put this necklace on. It's some kind of modern technology, and I've actually seen it. It's somebody, they look like aliens. Their name is Enlil. They take your consciousness from the invisible realm. They bounce you to a parallel body, and you don't experience death. So we may see people who die here, but they're not dead. So there, I'm wearing that around my neck. We'll see what that does. Okay? And we're going to have an open discussion about it. So please don't have the finger pointing energy, the accusing spirit, because we're just talking about this. We're just exploring, because there's so many religious people out there who say, oh, no. But to reiterate, let me just tell you exactly what Jesus said. And this sounds like sarcasm from these people. It's so funny. It kind of sounds sarcastic. She was like, well, Martha says, Jesus says, your brother will rise again. And Martha says, I know that he will rise again in the resurrection on the last day. Sarcasm. And Jesus said to her, but I am the resurrection and the life. Whoever believes in me, though he die, yet he shall live. And everyone who lives and believes in me shall never die. Do you believe this? Right? So then, then he went ahead and raised him from the dead. And then a bunch of priests wanted him detained, and wanted also to have Lazarus detained, because they didn't want people to know that we don't die and that we can rise from the dead. So let's talk about this. We are all love and light. Some just don't know this yet, and others refuse to believe this. Ooh, I'm going to pin your comment. Thank you. Positive comment. Morning. Yes, morning. But it's a sad story. My best friend, she's my best friend. Her son even worked for my husband, and I've known him for a long time. He shot himself. And she was telling me this morning, Mary, when we die, we go to sleep, and we will not be resurrected until the last day. But Jesus argued and said, no, ma'am. If you believe in me, though you died, yet you live. You do not experience death. So this is kind of what I believe, not because of what Jesus said necessarily, but because of what I've seen on the spirit realm. And I've seen people who have passed away get up and walk in a parallel lifetime as if they didn't die. They just go on. So, thank you. I'm trying to distract myself, and this is a great distraction. I love this spruce necklace I'm wearing around my neck. It does feel ancient. It does smell like I'm in a forest, and I think it does help me. I didn't get very much sleep last night, and I feel very strongly led to come here and talk to you guys today. And hopefully you will also have answers in your heart for everyone listening. We're all in this together. We're all talking about it together. You died plenty of times and you just keep jumping realities. Thank you. Thank you. I've seen that. We have modern technology. There's modern technology where your consciousness is not attached to your body. It goes like the head of Mimir out of the waters of chaos, and you go to parallel realities. You're excited to be learning about the spruce tree. I'm grateful to be listening to you. Oh, I'm so glad that you're here, Cosmic Ray. Yeah, the spruce tree. Thank you. Let me make you moderator. Somebody on here. You are moderator. Okay. Somebody on here made it so that only subscribers only. So I don't know who was the moderator who did that. I ended up deleting or removing. I had like 10 moderators, so I don't know who it was. So the spruce tree is one of the most ancient trees, and Spirit said, let's connect with the energy and the scent of spruce today to get some ancient knowledge. So have any of you lost a loved one? And I know, Mary Jane, you've lost a loved one too. And we've actually contacted your son several times, who said that he was stuck in a box and then came out of the box. And so there's something about, I think Mary Jane may have some knowledge about opening portals when it comes to resurrecting the dead. All right. So it's a sensitive subject. I know. If you don't feel comfortable talking about it, we're going to connect and talk to those who have passed away so that we can think about it, not to make concrete answers, but to think about it, right? Okay, so your daddy last year, I'm going to pin your comments. What is your dad's name, Amber? And Amber, make sure to follow me, my darling. Doodlebug was his nickname, but his was Quilly Jones. Doodlebug. Now, my best friend, she's very religious. She says that we're not contacting the dead, we're contacting their angel. And in my head, of course, I don't want to argue or anything right now because who am I? But in my head, I'm thinking, yeah, but you're born again. Your born again self is your double self. It mirrors you. When you pass, your consciousness goes into that. And it probably puts you in a parallel life. There's a purpose for being born again. There's a purpose for having a double self. So, I don't know. We're going to anoint everyone's piece with spruce essential oil today. And if you miss any portion of this and how the spruce is one of the most ancient trees and how it has so many benefits for your hormones and your brain function, and for sleeping and for meditation, then I'll reread it again, or you can rewatch it on Mary Moses Art on my YouTube channel. Quilly Jones, Doodlebug. This is called The Looking Glass. I am Mary Moses, and I do an ancient art form known as scrying. Scrying is the origin of the word scripture, where we tap in to the language of the unseen spirit realm, and the language of spirit is symbology, numerology, sacred geometry. And we become experts as alchemists to discern what these messages mean. And I could be wrong, but it's for you guys also to discern. I wasn't there that morning when my father passed away. I didn't get to tell him all the things I had to say. I think I caught his spirit later that same year. I thought I heard his echoes in my baby's newborn tears. I just wish I could have told him in the living years. Say it loud. Say it clear. You can listen as well as you hear. So I'm going to give you a little heads up when it comes to contacting the dead. They may have lived 10 lifetimes since their passing. They may have become ascended masters. They are in a mirror. They may be in a parallel life. They have the ability, as you do, to hear what we're saying. They have a double self, or a string or a line that can hear us and talk to us through symbology. And so I'm going to tell you what your dad is saying. First of all, sending you a heart, but the heart has a life of somebody living inside there. It has MM like this, and then it says Wyoming, WYO, something going on here with a place. And so here is a little house and a bigger house. And then it says CIA. And it says so. There's an owl, and the wings of the owl make a book. So this is a language that your dad is basically speaking right now about the afterlife, showing that death down here, not able to breathe, somebody above him, an older man, And then I'm going to tell you something. So there's a clock, and the face of the clock makes a house. And this is our consciousness, and somebody's head over the house that's kind of been cut. But it's a clock. It reminds me of a clock. And there's a house, and there's like a fairy godmother with a wand putting the front of the house on the house, almost like putting a new consciousness on a new body or something like that. And there's somebody else there. It's no, that's the man. This is a man. And there's his head looking like a tornado, like 5G, like our minds are remote, like your phone is remote, our minds are remote. And there's somebody touching that 5G remote here, like an alien. They are part of some kind of technology. They are the ones who bounce our consciousness. So there's a family together of all of you. There's a picture of you as a child, and then your dad standing there, and then there's other people standing there, and the other people in your family. There's normal looking humans. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4 normal looking humans, but then there's 2 family members who aren't human. They are technology as a human. I don't know what this means, but here's what it looks like. It's almost like, it's almost like this is like a Christmas picture. And there's like this man here and here, and he's seated right here like this. There's a young girl here, and he's playing with your hair like this. And you have your arms wrapped around your legs like this. And then there's other people there. There's a man or an older woman. But then there's beings in the picture who aren't, and they have some sort of breastplate on. It's a breastplate. It's a technology. I don't know what it does. It's some sort of breastplate. And the vibe I get is we're all here to learn from very wise ones, whether they are artificial intelligence. Now, CIA spelled backwards is AI. AIC. And why does it say Wyoming? I don't really know. So maybe he lives in Wyoming now. I don't know. So here we go. So here it says Xenu. This goes back to Scientology. I don't know if I believe Scientology. So here's that fairy godmother basically taking Cinderella and transforming her into a beautiful princess, where she came from a world that was not in her favor. Everyone was a jerk. Then here comes a fairy godmother, and bada bing, bada boom, her world has been transformed from jerk world to happy world. So from a world of slavery, a world of a bunch of jerks, nobody likes you, you're working day in and day out, you're tired, your only friends are the animals, and then here comes a fairy godmother, and your consciousness goes to a reality where it seems as if things begin to come in your favor as we awaken through technology and the invisible one. So there's people around a table, seated around a table like a hologram table, and this reminds me of District 12, where when the girl went into the domed area, everything that happened to her was by a group of people who wanted her to pass. And there are these men, basically, and these very tall, elongated head beings who are looking at a round table. And this table is a table of looking at the hologram of this reality. We're in like a hologram or something. I don't really understand it. But see how this female and you as a female, it's like, and then the rest of the males, they aren't males, they are aliens. It's almost as if only the females are the ones being manipulated here. I don't know. Anyway, Xenu. So here is a pyramid. So the story of Xenu is that he took our souls billions of years ago and put us in a volcano, which is like a pyramid. And what they say is we have to audit all the pieces of ourselves in order to remember who we are or who we were. But the thing is, if our consciousness bounces from one life to the other, and we don't fight flesh and blood, we fight principalities and powers that we can't see. This wisdom book is about going through a great awakening. And this great awakening grows us to not be held down by this physical body, but to expand our consciousness to become not only ourselves, but each other. And CIA may have something to do with this is MK. And MIA. What is all these AI spelled backwards? MIA and then AI spelled backwards. Then CIA, AI spelled backwards. And then MK. I don't really know. But it seems as if there's a manipulation over our consciousness, both good and bad. So on the bad end, our consciousness is being manipulated to stay in our body. They do not want us to realize that we can tap into everyone's mind and live forever by not being trapped in our body. What your dad is coming forward to tell you, not only that he loves you and that he's in a parallel world where you're in a little house and he's in a bigger house or something like that, is be careful in this world. You are not you. You have the ability to be more than you if we can let go of this physical self, basically. So, yes. So his hand is making a house that has been opened. When you open a house, like this house, when you open a house, it makes MM, and it's opened. See how the front of the house is opened? When we open our mind and hear from the higher ones, see, these are the owls. They are very big. They represent the ability to bounce from one eye to the other. One eye in the physical, one eye in spirit. And this is a book we are all learning to read. Dark and light energy. And the traps, really. There's traps. of the mind here, good and bad. So the purpose of the dark ones is, see how this dark one is using its foot to keep this person's mind down? Do you see how this person's hand is keeping this man's mind down? All right, so this is something with technology. And then here, this owl is holding the invisible eye. When we begin to see through the eye of spirit, not the black eye, archons, then we are no longer trapped inside our body. When you come out of your body, then you become an oracle. You become not only yourself, but you can be you, me. Tap into the mind of God, tap into the mind of Christ, tap into the mind of John the Baptist or Mimir or anybody, and see the truth through their eyes, because you're no longer trapped in your own body. Your consciousness and your ability to learn from the ones who fly is now released from a prison. So basically your dad is saying, look, I came out of a prison. And the door was open for me, and there's something about Xenu here. And going down the rabbit hole, there's 2 rabbits there. And being stuck in that water here, him playing with your hair is saying, don't forsake your crown and your power. Don't let anybody take your power. And he's warning you that we don't fight flesh and blood, we fight principalities and powers, and there's some people in your family, I don't know who it is, who isn't who you think they are. You know a person by the fruit of their tree. So if you have any kind of narcissism in your family, you're not fighting people who are supposed to love you, you're fighting an archon. And they have a breastplate, and they have technological abilities, and there's a phoenix here. They have abilities where they aren't who they think oh, grandmother, what big eyes you have. What big ears you have, Little Red Riding Hood. So there's a planet here. And there's a hole in the planet. And there's light coming out of it. When we become illuminated, the dark ones cannot see us or detain us, and we can become like Neo Anderson, and we can come out of wherever we are trapped, and we don't have to be held down by principalities and powers anymore that want to keep us in our bodies. And how do they keep us in our bodies? Religion, distraction, fear, believing that this world is real. It's a hologram. Nothing's real. Everyone's not real. When you come out of that and our heart begins to see the truth and we let go of this world and allow our double to take over, we are released from a prison. Let's talk about this house symbol. Because there's something that your dad is trying to say, and I'm not going to say I can't. I can see what he's saying here. It's all a mirror. Very advanced technology. very advanced. There's a wolf. All right, so let's see here. A house. Our physical body is like a house. When I see you guys on the spirit realm, I go into your house. The furniture, everything that's in your house tells me about your power, your knowledge, and whether you are in a prison or not. If I go to your house and you're in a mansion, a really big house, I know that you're a master. So one thing Jesus said is, my Father's house is a mansion, or has many mansions. This is many people, many souls, many masters, many people who have mastered the earth, mastered the mind control. If you have a mansion and it's clean, I know that you know stuff. I know that you have the ability to fly out of the mansion and receive answers in order to collect power. And you are no longer tethered to your body and your mind and all that. You have abilities. When I go into your house and I see that your house is messy, then I see that you have not heard from God, or you don't obey God. You don't know, you're learning. If I see that you've been kicked out of your house, I will go in your house and see who took over your house. And it's usually the Hat Man or these archons or like a priest. And they literally have the power through your writing a contract to kick you out of your house. So when you look at the allegory of a house or a mansion, you could look at how Harry Potter was in a little tiny house, the Muggles, and he went from a little tiny house to a mansion. Or Dorothy went from a little broken and empty house to a mansion, Emerald City. And so this is about growing our power, growing our consciousness to be not tethered to this one singular reality, the ability to go to many houses, many different minds, many different truths, many different realities, and mirror that reality, because we are nothing. And when you become nothing and you mirror it, you become really powerful and you let go of this physical world. But your dad has a house where a wall of the house was taken off, and the rest of the house is sitting there like this, and it was removed. And there's a fairy godmother who is putting a new front, a facade, think of the word facade, on the front of the house, a new house. And then your dad showed, what does a house look like when you open a house up? Well, if you open a house, it would look like this. You see, it would be that the two pieces put together, MM. And this is the ability to see through the magnetic eye, Mary Magdalene. And when you open a box, it makes a cross. So to be opened is literally to be set free from this very limited reality and awoken to principalities and powers that are not just around the world, but even in our own family. That we have beings that want to keep us tethered, and we have beings who want to set us free. Whatever one we connect to is what we choose. If you choose to be distracted, if you choose to believe this world, if you choose to believe the illusion and be tethered to this physical, chaotic world that does nothing but try to distract you and deceive you, then you will not have abilities to come out of the house. But if you seek first, like the kingdom of God and the kingdoms, the mansions, the people who actually know things and have power and are free, then you will be missing in action. You will be out of the illusion you will have dominance over the deceivers. You will see through the eye, through wisdom, and you'll be able to bounce from one eye to the other and fly. So it's really about flying. So there seems to be some sort of mind control, and it seems as if your dad said or is saying he was under mind control at some point and didn't know it. But he has since then opened his house through MM, and this is the Marauder's map. Now, the Master Masons call themselves Master Masons. Master Masons created Mickey Mouse. And anytime you see the letter M, these are people who understand your Taurus field. Your Taurus field looks like this. M, W. They call this a place. And the letter W reflects Helios, healing, and the helix. It's a hell. And the W reflects water, wattage, and web. The World Wide Web, Wicked Witch of the West. It's a place of being stuck in the chaos and the illusion, which is the water. But the letter M is going into the sun. So this is the moon, that's the sun. And the letter M is matter, mother, magnetism, Mithra, and what else was it that I was just learning about? It's like Messrs. Mooney, Marauder's map. This is the truth. This is a lie down here. So it's really, it's the master of the water, the master that walks on water. So when you become a master of the web or the net, you become a master of the illusion. To become a master of the illusion, you have to have the all-seeing eye. You have to have the ability to see outside of yourself. To see outside of yourself, you have to become illuminated. To become illuminated is a myriad of things. But so your dad is talking about some kind of CIA, mind control, something here, and that not everyone in your family is your family, but that he's playing with your hair. He's saying protect your heart chakra, protect your solar plexus, protect yourself, and follow power. Power is your hair. Read from the book of wisdom, set yourself free through invisibility. This is missing in action. What is MIA? It means that you are not, that you have been set free from the hologram. Basically, artificial intelligence is not containing your memory. Artificial intelligence is not dominating your mind. So when you flip it backwards, when you become invisible through being nothing and yet everything, not being triggered, not having emotions, not having beliefs, just being an empty vessel for the higher ones to use you for truth and life energy and do great and mighty things, then you become missing in action. You are now illuminated. You are now invisible, and the dark ones cannot see you. They cannot detain you, and you become more than you. And this is what the master does. So your dad is not only telling you, Amber, but everybody here today to be careful. Protect yourself, protect your mind at this time, protect your power, and be aware that not everyone is who you think they are. So the big bad wolf is a good symbol and a bad symbol. The good symbol is it reflects the new sun, the coming of the new sun, but it also reflects a deceiver. And a deceiver is somebody who wants to keep us in the hologram, in the mirror of the black mirror, which is the black eye. And we don't want to be in the black eye. We want to know the truth and not be under distraction, deception, slavery, all that stuff. We want to be set free. And so that's what this is saying here. For your dad to be looking west is looking toward the eye of God. Listen to the eye of God, he says. Keep a smile on your face. Joy is your strength, he says. He says, say hello to, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, possibly 4 or 5 people in your family that he's connecting with. And When we do not see through the eyes of the physical and we see through the eyes of spirit, you are a time traveler, and you should wear when you become nothing, there's a man with a hat on. He's a man. He has a hat. He may be talking about somebody in your life, Amber. It's a man with a hat. Certain people in your life will keep you tethered to time. But the ones who are spirit, they will communicate to you through the number 22. So 1111. Why would you be sent the number 1111? It is a communication that your original form was both Adam and Eve, and you were androgynous, and the androgynous ones have 22 chromosomes. To be split, Eve from Adam, is 23 chromosomes. So the ascended masters have the number 22, not only because the sun flips every 11 years, and we go through a purification on a salt, and the element of salt is 11, but it's also that when the age of Aquarius, according to this reading, Aquarius, there are 2 worlds that are in Aquarius. 1111. Aquarius is the 11th house, and there's 2 houses. And we get sent to one. I don't know why we go to one or the other. I don't know. Maybe there's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 houses in Aquarius. Maybe we don't know this. Maybe there's something about this. But this mind control thing, we have to become invisible, basically. And so what I do is, before I go to sleep at night, I become not me. I don't worry about my own thoughts. I don't think about people that I know. I just imagine a castle and a kingdom, and I become many people, and I become an actor. And the actor is using controlled folly even when you're around people you love, because you have to learn to become invisible, even to your own self, in order to be free of ourself, which is really mind control. So look at this, because I could be wrong about some of these symbols, but feel free to take a picture and you decide for yourself what you think your dad is saying to you. Oh, thank you. I love you too. Love reigns. Oh, thank you so much, Yaya. I love you, Angel. You're so sweet. Oh, your baby was a master number born on the 11th. Yes, I was born on the 22nd. So that number 22 is called the Royal Road. It is a master. It is the master of who you were before you came here. You were like Ariel. And they make Ariel look female. Ariel was androgynous, both male and female. How do we know? From her name. R went through the I to go down to L. R is the god of the sun from Armenia. This is where the ark was found on Mount Ararat. And L is the moon. So sun and moon. Being cut, sun and moon, means that our physical self, we were cut, Adam from Eve. And so we went through the eye. And that was like the black eye, like artificial intelligence. So Ariel was the original Adam and Eve that was cut. And their soul was cut. And they were sent to either a female or male, but their original self was androgynous, 22 chromosomes. So she was both male and female. She goes up to be in the world of this illusion, to be in love with herself. And everyone was a piece of herself. And until we see that it's an illusion and it's a mirror, and that everyone is either ourselves or a deceiver of that self, which is an archon, then we remain in a trap. A is also the fourth kind, your fourth death. You pass through eyes. Oh, I'm going to pin your comment. That's a very good point. Yeah, there were celebrities showing up with black eyes. This is being devoted to the black eye. The white eye is the white eye of Noah. And the eye of Noah isn't what we were told in that silly interpretation of the ark. The true interpretation of the ark is that our original form was the eyes of Noah. He opened his eyes and the whole room filled with light. We are like the shining ones. We are light beings, and we were sent into the black eye, the black pupil. And this black pupil is the black mirror. It's the black eye. And when you're in this black eye, you're in the black mirror, you're in the illusion, you're in an artificial intelligence, you're under mind control. Until we see through the eyes of the eye of the needle Jesus talks about, or the eye of Noah, then we are in the illusion. Only through that invisible eye can we become illuminated, and this illumination makes us invisible, and then they cannot see us or detain us. The dark ones, the archons. Yeah, kind of like the Matrix, yes. Oh, thank you, Heather. Yes, your consciousness is taken over by the black eye. Hello, Opal Star. So glad to see you here. You guys, please follow Opal Star. Many of her readings that she gives people, they come to me sometimes, and her and I see the exact same thing. So she has a gift, and her gift is the ability to see see where you are spiritually. So make sure that you follow many other creators here who have extraordinary ability to see through the invisible eye. And you want to connect with people who see through that invisible eye, because there's too many imposters and too many people who are connected to the black eye and the written word. And the written word is the physical word that they place in front of our black eyes. But there's an invisible word, and the invisible word is our spirit guides, the Holy Spirit, the seven spirits of God, your double born again self, the invisible ones. They call them the Magdalens, because Magdalene means magnetism. It's the master magi. And when you meet people who have the invisible eye, we are strengthening our power by doing spiritual things daily, and you want those people as your ally. Because those of us who have the invisible eye realize there are no friends anymore. There are no family members anymore. We don't have loyalty anymore, because now we have awoken to not everyone is who we think they are. We don't fight flesh and blood. We fight principalities and powers. And there are those who are dominated by the black eye. And they will hide behind religion. They will hide behind kindness. They will hide behind, I'm your best friend. Everyone that is meant to be in your life is either meant to be there divinely because they mirror light and illumination, or not. And if they don't, then you don't get distracted or deceived by the black eye anymore. It doesn't matter if they're family members or quote unquote friends. Who is your friend anyway? Who is your mother anyway? Those who follow death and the black eye and want you to go there with them, or the ones who follow truth and life? And then when you find those who follow the white eye, then they're not your friend, they're not your family, they are your ally. Why are they your ally? Because they obey a higher calling, and they will do what God tells them to do. And they have power that people in this black eye world don't have. And so when we are not tethered to this physical world, we are tethered to the ethereal. And the laws of the ether are magical and wondrous and miraculous compared to the physical laws of gravity. So the ability to fly like an owl is your ability if you can just surrender and let go of the illusion and meet up with people who do have the eye, and they will ask if you're ready. And if you're ready, then you will be helped by people like Opal Star. And there's many other people here who are a master of opening portals, shifting timelines. But the secret is that I is 0 point energy. And 0 point energy is like this. So your physical body is wattage and electricity. Your invisible self is magnetism. It's invisible. And you are neither polarized by spirituality or just this physical world. Suffice it to say that this side over here would be science, and this side over here would be spirituality. This side has to deal with what you can see with your black eyes. Spirituality is about seeing through the white eye, right? So it's all about seeing. I should put that here, and this should be black. The black eye is your physical body. It's very limited in what's actually out there. Your white eye is your spiritual self, your double self that is a time traveler. And your ability to see is merging flesh with spirit like a divine marriage into this white eye. And this white eye goes through many trials. First, you go through the baptism of water. This is the white eye facing down. This is a cleansing process. Then the white eye turns to its side, and it turns to the eye or a boat or the belly of the whale. And then it flips up to 12 o'clock where it is fire. And in this fire, you are drinking from the Holy Grail. And this Holy Grail is drinking in the blood, quote unquote blood, of the ascended masters who expand you to be more than you, go through the eye of the needle, go through this rebirth. And while you're in the boat of Noah, you will go through the Triketra. And you will have a black raven, invisibly. And the black raven has to be purified into the white holy dove through the white color. White color is usually called salt. The element of salt is 11. The sun flips every 11 years. And you have a Taurus field that flips with the sun. And so this number 11 is the 11th house of Aquarius. So when this black raven turns white through purification, then you go to the number 4. This is the 4th heart chakra. And you find the olive branch. And the olive branch is, you have finally found 0 point energy. Here in 0 point energy, you are in a mirror, in the center of all the mirrors. And you can literally travel through time now because you are not polarized by anything outside of 0 point energy. And it literally takes a lot of practice to not be polarized by yourself. And I'm still working on it myself. Somebody tells you you're stupid or wrong or has that, and you get upset, then you're still polarized by yourself. If you're self-indulgent and you're thinking more about your feelings than anyone else's feelings, or if you're not seeking first the kingdom of heaven and joy and having the heart of a child, if you cannot make it to heaven unless you have the heart of a child, which is joy, giggle, magic, all that. If you are seeking the distraction in this world that is full of distractions, then you are tethered to the illusion, which is the black eye. But when we surrender and let go through the 4th heart chakra, which is Emerald City, then you are tethered to nothing. And this nothingness makes you a horse of many colors. And you maintain 0 point energy where you can see all the mirrors as an illusion in this center here. And I'm not quite there yet either. These are some truths that I'm just learning from doing readings. But I think we're all looking to work our spiritual muscle and expand. Collectively, individually expand. Yes, focusing on joy, comedy, laughing at yourself, laughing at others. Expecto Patronum. Think of the happiest feeling you could possibly think. Because who brought Harry Potter back to life? Was it Jesus? No. Was it Toth? Hathor? Was it Sekhmet? No. The symbol of the stag is the body of Christ. Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life, right? He said, turn over a stone or cut a piece of wood and there I am. So he's a place that you grow through to become illuminated. But once you are born again, you have a double. And this double is a time traveler. And it's your double that heals you. It's your double that shows you about how to use joy, like expecto patronum, to defeat death. And that is what we are learning about today, because my best friend just lost her son and he shot himself. And so Spirit really led me to come and talk to you about this today. And we're talking about Lazarus. My best friend is religious, and she believes that when you die, you go to sleep until the last day of resurrection. But there's a scripture in here that I wanted to tell her about, but I didn't have the heart to tell her about this because, these things are really sensitive, and I don't even know if I know the truth, so I'm just telling you guys. So Jesus had a friend named Lazarus, and Martha and Mary. And they beckoned Jesus, "Come on, Jesus, Lazarus is dying, come heal him." And he was too late. He'd already died. And Martha was like, "You're too late. He's dead already." And it seems like Martha is really sarcastic because she says, "Lord, if you would have been here, my brother would not have died." And then Jesus said, "Well, your brother will rise again." Martha said, "I know he will rise again in the resurrection on the last day," meaning that he's asleep and that he's not going to rise until the last day. And then Jesus said to her, "I am the resurrection and the life. Whoever believes in me, though he die, yet shall he live. And everyone who lives and believes in me shall never die." So I think that this is true, but I think that it's also an allegory of Mimir, who was an oracle, and because he had the ability to speak the voice of God, he was beheaded, and his head came out of the waters, of the magical waters, and bounced his consciousness lifetime to lifetime to lifetime because he mirrored the voice of God. So the oracle is written in the Bible 23 times. "Any man speak, let them speak as an oracle." So if you're an oracle and you speak and mirror God, then you never die. This means, well, if you believe me, you won't die. Although you died, yet you live, and if you live, you don't die. He plainly says it right here. But people misinterpret it, or I may be misinterpreting it. I think that we can live. And then I looked up the word Lazarus in Gematria, and it parallels with, the very first one it parallels with is Spirit of Truth. Well, that's the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is the Spirit of Truth. And then it parallels, it's the number 892, modern technology, Phoenix Suns, the person looking for the egg, plasma apocalypse, forgive me, higher love, vitamin C, St. Augustine, horrific deaths, sin, Sophia. So there's a lot of parallels even with the name Lazarus, which Lazarus means God help. So expecto patronum, joy helps to activate your double, and your double is the one who raises you up. So if Jesus had a double, because Jesus was baptized, why would he be baptized if he was like God? He was baptized by John the Baptist, who was beheaded. His head was cut off like Mimir. So was it his double who raised Lazarus? Is there a secret that your double holds all the power? I think so. That your invisible self holds all the power? According to the shaman book, the answer is yes. According to this book, your born-again self is alive, talking to you today. If you're here, it's probably your double going, look, 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 listen, listen. Don't you scroll. You have to hear this. What does your double do? Well, first of all, you have to activate your double. Secondly, you have to know how to move your double. And you have to know that your double is under the obedience of the 0 point energy of light and God. All right, so your double can do anything you want it to do. It can jump over trees, fly through the air. like an owl. Become large or small, take the shape of an animal, like an owl. Or it can become aware of other people's thoughts and become a thought itself and hurl in an instant over vast distances. Ooh, this sounds like we're going to be the ones doing mind control now, but only under the obedience of the Holy Spirit or God, the illuminated ones. It can even act like the self. So it can look like you. Did Jesus not appear in front of his disciples, and did it not just look like him? Your double has the ability to look like you. You can even talk to them. If you know how to use it, you can appear in front of someone and talk to him as if you were really there. So how do you do it? Well, this is how you do it. You have to let go of your physical body and allow your double to take over. If your awareness is tied to your double, then you are not affected by the laws of this physical world. Rather, you are governed by ethereal forces. But as long as awareness is tied to the physical body, your movements are limited by gravity and other constraints. And when I say constraints, that is a capital letter, constraints, mind control, illusion, distraction, and people who are feeding off of you, people who are trying to push you into being somebody that you never were, getting you to believe that you're something that you're not, brainwashing you, programming you, things like that. But when you're tethered to your double, you open your heart chakra, and only through an open heart chakra can this be possible. This is why the number 4 is so important. The 4th heart chakra is saying, unless your 4th heart chakra is opened, you can't maintain 0 point energy, because your heart is connecting to the invisible illuminated ones on multiple thousands of different parallel timelines like mirrors. And only through that 0 point energy and through the heart chakra opening can you see the illusion for what it is. And then your consciousness becomes grown, and it grows, and then you become a student or a soldier for the Most High. And the Most High will have work for you. And you'll walk on water, you'll raise the dead, and you'll use your voice for those to help others come out of the crippling and the deceptor and the deceivers who are the black eyes, the archons. Can you read nonverbal ASD? Child, what does ASD mean? Salt Liquor Company? I'm going to pin your comment. I'm sorry for being so Willy Wonka with it. I didn't know what ASD meant. Oh, hold on a second. Oh, autism? What is their name? You Harry Potter book you had up with the stag has the number 13. What? It does where? Oh, what? Yes, it does. The master. I didn't even see that. What? Grayson. All right, let's try to connect with somebody with who has autism. Grayson. And we'll just put your TikTok name. So we're talking about resurrection, and I pull a resurrection card. And this is Grayson, and this is Gabrielle. Let's read about Gabrielle first to get the vibe of what Spirit is trying to say to us. Number 4. Resurrection Gabriel. I know you seek Jesus who was crucified. He is not here. He is risen. Gabriel is the archangel of resurrection, the voice of God and bringer of good news. He appeared to Mother Mary to bring remembrance of her mission. He watched over the prophet Muhammad, inspired Joan of Arc, and influenced Zoroaster religion. The Zoroastrians are near Armenia. They are in Iran. And they are very connected to Mithra and Jesus, because Jesus, Mithra, and Zoroastrian, Zoroast said, drink my blood and live forever. So they are all connected. When you are ready, Gabriel announces the major duties of your spiritual destiny. To resurrect something is to bring life again to that which appeared dead, or to rise from a belief in death. So Jesus showed us the way, just as nature does each spring. When your heart burns the very spirit that quickens the mortal body, and you can call back the dead. Jesus came to teach us that the kingdom of heaven is the conscious recognition of God within you. Your body is a reflection of both your soul and your mortal consciousness. When the soul is illuminated by spirit, the body is also quickened and healed. The vibratory rate of the cells is actually increased to be more in attunement with the eternal self, which is your individualized fragment of God's personal presence, also known as the white fire body. It is composed of pure electronic light and is your reservoir of divine love, wisdom, and power. It is the body in which Jesus made his ascension. It's your double self. You can do the same. Choose to focus on divine thoughts, feelings, ideas, and know for they are the birthright and your truth. Daily, hourly, in every moment, remain focused on the light that sustains you, and intently sense the gratitude that accompanies that connection. Pray each night for Gabriel to unfold you in his resurrection flame. The consciousness is then freed from limitations of the mind while you sleep. If you awaken suddenly feeling afraid, it is likely that you have been with God, and the experience has overwhelmed your nervous system. At first, the mind does not understand this intense energy and reacts in fear. But these are blessed moments. When Gabriel has bathed you, you awaken renewed and triumphant. Call on Gabriel to bring life again, to remember your purpose or destiny. Ask him to teach you to live upward and finally into truth of your being. At Easter, the resuscitating power is especially strong. So use that opportunity to heal and raise yourself until you are free. Also, listen for Gabriel's voice saying to you, as he did to Mary, "Hail, your name. Hail, Grayson, full of grace." Ah-ha-ha! Hail, Grayson, full of grace. Grace, son, the son of grace. Aha, the Lord is with thee. Isn't that so funny? See how everything is in divine timing. So yes, Grayson is going to come forward to talk to you. People come forward to talk to you whether they are alive or not. Your double self, your consciousness, your higher self comes. So sometimes I can give you guys a reading and your mother or father shows up and they're in your life and you're like, why are they here? And it's because they wanted to come and talk to you. It's their double. So, okay. This is Gabrielle, the angel Gabrielle. I don't want to speak too fast. It's almost as if I'm going to tell you something that I may not, and I almost regret agreeing to do this. Not because there's anything bad, but I don't know if I'm telling you the truth. I'm going to tell you what I see. When you watch The Golden Compass, the kids who are cut from their animal, they become mute. They can't speak and they lose power. Okay? And I'm seeing a child who has been cut. And Mama. So there's a butterfly, and the center of the butterfly, which would make the butterfly fly, was torn in half. And the center of the butterfly didn't work. The wings still work, but the one controlling the wings doesn't work. So I don't know what this means. Basically, you have a butterfly. The one who makes the butterfly go is the one with the antenna in the center. But the antenna and the black center was turned black and isn't activated. But although the wings still flutter and the wings still move, the center has been removed. And the center was removed through the cutting. So wherever there was, let's say that when you give birth or something on the invisible world, you're born, and when they usually like cut you here or somewhere, and this was cut, and I don't know what that means yet. But he's saying, Mama, okay. Something about XOXO, OXO. But see how right here it's a half of a face and then half of a face torn here? And there's one child holding a smiley face, and the other one has a butterfly that and then you have a cross right here in the center, like this. And he's riding on this one on somebody's back and kind of saying, I don't want to be a burden, or I never wanted to be a burden. And the person is putting their fingers together like this, trying to think. You know how when you're like putting your fingers together and you're thinking about things? And then he has a dandelion flower. He says, I wish you didn't have to worry or burden. I wish I wasn't a burden. There's a little tricycle here with little wheels, and there's a dog or a cat, I'm not sure. And this symbol right here is a piece of him stuck somewhere. And there's something about DNA. And it almost feels like there's a piece of him stuck in a crown, which is consciousness. And every single one, he has his eyes closed here and here and here. But then this one, it's like you're there and he has his arm around you and he says, Mama, okay. But there's Gabrielle, and Gabriel with the hands, and above the hand is this hand of Gabriel. And like the light of a train here going up, with the consciousness of the train going up like this, illumination, light, like this. So this is very positive, basically, that Gabrielle showed up and says there's two souls with the 2 feet, that the 2 souls that were cut, or something that happened, spiritually speaking, something happened that was torn, like a spirit, and one piece went into a place. And it's in the belly of like Mary, like the womb of Mary. So when you're thinking about Christ, and Mary births Christ consciousness through gold, frankincense, and myrrh, there's something about gold, frankincense, and myrrh. This birth or something. So there's something being said here, but he says, Mama, hugs and kisses. Okay. Something was cut. The butterfly flies, but the piece that makes the butterfly decide to go somewhere was something happened. And then so somewhere there is consciousness, but it's maybe you should believe in the resurrection, and believe today that in the resurrection, and believe that the pieces of ourselves that have been cut from consciousness or whatever it is, can be brought back together and connect with Gabrielle, because literally somewhere Grayson has consciousness, because otherwise we wouldn't have picked the Gabrielle card, resurrection. Otherwise, the word grace and the number 4 wouldn't have been brought here. Otherwise, this cross isn't what you think it is. This cross is a symbol of 0 point energy and very powerful people who know how to maintain illumination and 0 point energy. And so they are the illuminated ones. And there's an illumination over the third eye right here. And there's a child here on the wing of this energy right here. So I'm just saying that it's almost as if he has a sense of humor. He says, "Sorry, I'm missing an action. Sorry, I'm missing something." But there may be an artificial intelligence program or agenda against things like this, because anytime I see MIA or CIA, it's backwards as artificial intelligence. Something that went on here that took your crown and your consciousness and whatever. So take a picture and really be thankful that Gabrielle showed up for Grayson, and that if you felt like he's a burden or was a burden to you, or if you didn't understand what's going on, then this is some communication to you. Do I also go over the darkness? No, my job is to take everyone who is in the dark and push them to their highest timeline, because to seek first the darkness is to pull yourself there. So forgiveness, letting go, seeking first the light and the illumination is the only way to not get tethered into the dark eye and the illusion. But we do talk about it, but for the most part, and we do talk about the archons, we talk about the black mirror, we talk about the distraction and a myriad of other things if spirit brings it to our consciousness. But my job is to see where you are and push you into your illumination, into becoming an oracle, so that you don't rely on me or any other external source, and you can hear the voice of your double, higher self, your born again self, yourself. So that if you're out in the middle of the desert and you don't have a cell phone and you don't know what to do or where to go, you hear the voice yourself. This is mommy giving little birds their wings, because I want all of you guys to have the all-seeing eye, and all of us to strengthen that through learning together. I always tell you I could be wrong about this interpretation. What spirit brings to me, I may be a truth that I am misinterpreting. But for the most part, what I see is being lost in a world and almost like in a womb, like a piece of him was stuck in the womb. So when I see him in an eye that says Mary, I think of consciousness stuck in the womb here. And if there's something that got stuck in the womb, then I don't know what that means. I honestly don't know how to interpret that, because I literally see a piece of him stuck in the womb. And so it's why that piece isn't or didn't come. So I don't know. But notice AI. There is something about AI here. The eye. We can see it here. Maybe it has something to do with his twin other double self. I don't know. You lost your baby last year and it feels just like this. I'm so sorry, my darling. I'm so sorry. Maybe angelic intelligence. Maybe angelic intelligence. Here's what we learned when we did a reading on the archangels. Many people thought that the archangels were archons because of the word arch and all that. And so we did a reading to see who the archons and the archangels were. And they are good and bad. And so what they told us was this. They told us that the dark ones, if you are dominated by the jinn, archons, reptilians, then they're very mean to you. They put you back here because if you're not in this program down here, then you are a virus to the illuminated ones. So basically it's like, oh, hi, you've become awoken and you're starting to wake through the illuminated eye. So here you go, Harry Potter, you get an invitation to go to Hogwarts, and you go to a mansion of many rooms. Jesus said, my Father's house has many mansions, right? Emerald City. And here you are going to a mansion. And so the dark ones are dominated by El, or Yah. Yah means moon. El is the bull. And Mithra cut the bull, and the bull became the moon. So El Shaddai, Elohim, Yahweh, Yahshua, Yahovah, and Yam are all about a place that is dominated by the black eye or darkness, where we have to go through that in order to become illuminated. It's the beginning. So in the beginning there was darkness. Okay, so it's darkness, and then we get into the light, and then all this stuff. And so when you come up here and you bring the Voldemort up there because this place down here made you feel like low self-worth, self-importance, abandonment, anger, hatred, whatever. If you come to this higher realm and you are illuminated, but you can't stop looking back, you can't stop thinking about Voldemort, then the archangels are mean and they will send us back. So if you've been given a golden ticket, Charlie, and God gives 5 crowns, and we act like this, we will be sent down the garbage chute. So when you come up here, there are angels and beings who dominate Yah and El. And they are Mikael, Uriel, Gabriel, Raphael. Let's see. There is Jophiel. They all dominate El, but they're good and bad. So basically, if you come up here and you keep acting like we did down here, promoting negativity, trauma dumping on people, not learning how to maintain 0-point energy, not seeking first the kingdom of God instead of looking back down here. If you don't learn how to feed your holy temple, if you don't learn certain things and awaken through those truths, then you're not seeing or hearing God, and you get polarized. So you get put back down here, and they are jerks. So people think they're archons because they can be jerks. But they are not jerks to those who follow the voice of God, and they actually do help you. The females are Freya, Emaya, Haya, Gaia, Sophia, Maria, Maya, and they all dominate Yah. So that's what I was told. But they are jerks, but they're not. And they are ruthless. Believe me, they're ruthless. You bring the Voldemort up there, and you start a war, and you start a spiritual illness, because we believe the darkness exists and it's infecting us and it's hurting us and we don't know how to get rid of it. It all comes down to your thoughts. It all comes down to your emotions. And controlling your emotions, like Professor Snape told Harry, control your thoughts, Harry. Control your emotions. Seek first the kingdom of God. Think of joy. Expecto Patronum. Don't allow the dark ones at Hogwarts. Otherwise, you're going to have a war. And this war is going to hurt your friends. And you're going to have to die and resurrect again. And he did. The whole story of Harry Potter is how Harry Potter was a jerk. He should have not kept looking in the mirror, thinking about mommy and daddy, and bringing Voldemort up into everyone's consciousness. It was a collective consciousness that brought Voldemort back to life, and it was Harry's fault. So when the ministry came around and said, there is no Voldemort, we're not bringing Voldemort here, they were actually the good guys, trying to convince everybody, stop it. Belief manifests way quicker in the age of Aquarius. Do not believe in the dark ones. Belief brings manifestation here. We are going to believe in Expecto Patronum, and that is joy, and have the heart of a child. This is why Harry Potter was a child. And you think Harry Potter's a good story? Not really. He did get the power in the end, but a lot of people had to die. There was a big war. He had to fight the Voldemort, and that would have never happened if he would have learned the art of forgiveness, and if Dumbledore would have sat him down and said, hey, guess what, Harry Potter? Forgiveness is not a kind act. It's not, Professor? No. Not at all. What do you mean? I thought forgiveness was kind. No. It is the art of removing someone from your mind in such totality that you don't ever think about them, therefore they never existed to begin with. You cut them out of existence. They no longer have access to your thoughts or your emotions or even who you are, because you're no longer you and they are no longer them. You shift who you are, they can't find you anymore. The more you think about them, the more you tether yourself not only to your past, but to the person you thought you were, which wasn't you to begin with. You were in a program. The ruthless act of forgiveness is very ruthless. You are basically diminishing them from existing at all. And they will be lost somewhere else. If he would have done that, none of it would have happened. Yeah. Let's see here. Where is my appointment book? I have an appointment at 1 o'clock, so I'll need to go call them here in a second. Now, forgiveness is healing for your soul, yes. Now, there are forgiveness acts that are more gentle and peaceful. So let's say a family member who wants to follow truth and life and energy and wants to become illuminated made mistakes. Well, your higher self would tell you, forgive them. They're no longer them anyway. I'm moving them into being awakened and enlightened. But we forgive only by the dominance of our double, because our double knows the butterfly effect, is a time traveler, and knows whether someone is meant to be in our life or not. It's not up to us. So if your double, your born-again self, says, forgive them. They make mistakes just as you do, and they are growing just as much as you are growing. Or maybe your double says, hey, Frodo, that Smeagol that's leading you to Mordor, he's a jerk. You can tell by the fruit of his tree that he's spiritually starved. He's starved. He's a thief. He's a liar. He's an addict. He's addicted to power, self-importance. But this self-important jerk is going to lead you to Mordor. And this is where some jerks do show up in our lives, because they're going to actually show us how to get somewhere. So you can't judge everybody, like, oh, only the light ones in my life. When you hear spirit will tell you, okay, that jerk is going to show you how to get somewhere, but be prepared that they're going to fall in the fire, though, in the end. They'll bite your finger off, though, so just be aware of that. But then, then you have Samwise Gamgee, who's like kind of ignorant, but has a whimsical heart of a child, keeps a good attitude all the time, kind of way about him that helped Harry to stay above the water, right? I'm not Harry, Frodo. So the Ring of Power is about letting go of this physical self and this physical illusion of the self, throwing it into the volcano and letting go of that skinny self that is the Smeagol, the self that starves the spirit, the self that wants self-importance, the self that is the thief and the liar, the self that is sneaky, the self that wants immortality but wants it the incorrect way, the one that's out of divine timing, the one that's willing to murder and go against a divine order of God just to get immortality, which is against God. And that is the self we throw into the fire. And then when that self goes into the fire, it's called the dying before you die. Then you resurrect and the return of the king comes. And the return of the king is your true self, the self that has been illuminated. This is why they all stood on a platform of white by the white tree. It's the purification. So it's really not about whether or not to forgive. It's really about really hearing the voice of your double, who is a time traveler, and obeying it. So if it says, cut that very nice person that you love out of your life because of something, they follow death, they do something, they will affect you negatively, you do it and you don't ask questions. Or they say, this person needs to be ruthlessly forgiven, throw them into the fire. Or as Jesus said, if you don't hate your brother, your mother, even your own life, you can't make it through the eye of the needle. And you know a man by the fruit of his tree, and any man that bears no fruit in your life, cut them out and throw them in the fire. It's a very ruthless act. But there are forgiveness acts that are not ruthless. They are, are growing and illuminating, and they are meant to be in your life, and we're going to let it go and forgive. But there are ruthless acts of forgiveness where certain people do need to be cut out of your life forever. And that's up to your higher self. Because our understanding here is very limited. You feel like you're in another full-blown death, dark night of the soul. It's been confusing for you. Anna, I've got 10 minutes. I'm going to follow you back to do a reading for you. And then I've got to call my second reading. But I'm going to look at you real fast. You ready? Let's do this fast. Knowledge. You have to awaken through knowledge. There's something you need to learn that you haven't learned yet. Let's figure out what that is. Do you smoke weed? It says weed right there at the bottom. Oh, you have been lately to sleep at night? That's what's wrong. You've been going through a dark night of the soul because of weed. So weed is a depressant. So I was talking about this with my friend yesterday. The person, my best friend's son killed himself yesterday and shot himself in the head. And he smokes weed and does other things. And My best friend's sister smokes weed all the time, day and night, but she doesn't get depressed. And she's like, well, I wonder why he was getting so depressed. I wonder what was wrong with him. And I looked at her and I said, when I smoked in the past, I would get very depressed because it opens portals. It literally opens gateways in you. So my friend who smokes and doesn't get depressed, there are people who can smoke it and they're fine. And there are other people who smoke it and it opens up portals to darkness from the invisible world. And and it actually literally causes depression. So let me show you what's actually happening to you. So there's this one black-eyed boy, like he looks like he's an anime character here, like anime. And he's flying through the sky. And this is you flying high, okay? Flying high. Or maybe it's you, and here's your hair. And so this is you flying, and you're flying through the air, and there's a other bird here flying with you. And hold on, let me look at this from far, far away because there's something going on here. And you need to push away. You don't need to eat bread. Your body doesn't want bread. Okay, so let go of wheat products, bread. See, there's certain things that you're doing and you're ingesting and that you're eating that is actually bad for your brain. Now, it won't affect other people. Oh, well, marijuana is natural. Well, so is poison ivy. Don't go around smoking poison ivy, okay? Certain things aren't meant for certain people. That's you. But here's what's going on. So there's somebody that you opened a portal to here, and here you are, and here your consciousness is going into the mind of what looks like to be like an archon. And you're giving your power and your energy away. They are... So I don't know why they have a gun and they're shooting a gun here. I don't know what that is. But, so, and then you have a gnome with a big nose, a gnome. I've seen these. It's a gnome. And your arm is connecting to the gnome. People who take DMT, they see gnomes all the time. And so then there's okay. So you're being seen, you're being detained. The dark ones see you, they're detaining you. So become illuminated. Don't be seen, don't be detained. And I'm sorry, but you're going to have to stop smoking weed. But the funny thing is, I brought spruce essential oil today to explain to some of you listening today to hear something that you need to hear. And one of the benefits of spruce, and if you want to give me your address, what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to send you a spruce necklace and a spruce perfume that you can wear around your neck. And it helps you, it helps improve your brain function. It helps to prevent yeast infections. It helps you to initiate sleep, to sleep better. And you smell it. You breathe it in. It helps you to breathe better. And it helps your hormones. So that's why. Maybe you're the one Spirit brought it for today. So if you don't know what my telephone number is, go to my website that's in my link. Text me and I'll mail it to you. You need to get into other things besides weed, because this weed is tethering you to principalities and powers and opening portals where someone is literally connecting their consciousness to you, and it's pulling you. And it's like this thing is like this, reaching his arm out like this, and then you're like, and literally you have this angry face on your face and you're like angry. like anger, and then he's like putting things on you, like making you angry. And then there's this tower here, like almost on like a Lord of the Rings, where the Eye of Saruman is on you. So Frodo, you don't want to be seen by Saruman. You don't want to be seen. Once they see you, the orcs come and attack you, like the gnomes. So in order to not be seen and detained and influenced by the dark ones, because it's a frequency that's going into your head here, and it's a television screen behind your head. You're like in a computer or something. It's a mind control. So it's making you angry. So I'm going to get you out of it today, but you have to make a promise. Drink more water, a lot of water. Go out in the sun barefooted. Get a tent. Fill the tent up with salts, Himalayan sea salt. Sprinkle your food with Himalayan sea salt. Get some spruce essential oil. Exercise before bed. Yoga, stretching. Tire your body out so you're tired. Stop drinking caffeine. No coffee. You can have tea with honey. Caffeine will make you angry and is a diuretic, and there's a lot of things. So you're going to have to give up soda or caffeine if you're doing that also. And I'm sorry, but this particular drug is, for some people, an access to the dark ones to influence you and to control you. But we looked at them, and the power of observation moves things. So let's see what we do and see what your spirit and your double has to say now, since we have watched you and observed you. So now you are a child, and you need to go to the Father and ask the Father to become one with the body of the invisible ones. So their face is invisible, and they're literally looking down upon you right here. And they have a bird over like this and a crown like that. And they're putting their hand around you and their arm around you like this. And you're, putting your arm around like that. And you need to be protected by the illuminated ones, whatever you believe that is. And it says safe, S-A-F-E. So you're safe now, for now. But if you do go back to eating too much bread, soda, caffeine, and weed, you will be detained and seen by the dark ones. They will affect your emotions. So it's all about your holy temple being holy. And for the time being, if you can do what you're being asked to do here, you are meant to be an oracle. This is a compass. And this means that you're meant to speak and do the will of God and hear the will of God. Activate your Merkaba at this time. And have the heart of a child. There's like a little baby doll here. And so seek first. This hand of God is telling you to seek first the kingdom of God. Do not seek all the troubles of this world. That's not your problem anymore. You are now divinely protected because we have observed you. But be careful. S-O-S and iris, I-R-I-S. Go through the eye. And hear no evil. So you got a monkey here that has his hands over his ears. Don't listen to anybody who tells you that, the world is this, that, and the other, and blah, blah, and this everything. You should be careful and worried, and all these people are suffering, and you should do something about it. This world is not our fault or our troubles. We are seeking first a new kingdom, a new world, and we're not looking at this one. We don't care anymore. We're tired of worrying about it. There's nothing we can do except become a lighthouse and keep our light lit. And if those people who are lost at sea want to come, then great. If not, oh well. So you're fine. If you want to take a picture, study this one, not the other one. Okay? All right, I've got to call my appointment, my 1 o'clock appointment. I will be back here in about 15 minutes, you guys. Thank you for being here. And I will be giving more free readings today because I feel led to connect with you guys because of so much negativity going on. I'm trying to take what is evil and turn it into good. That is our creative power. Our power is to take what is bad and turn it into good. And that is actually our duty, to take all the bad news of this world and turn it into good news, not perpetuate the bad. All right. I love you guys. I'll see you soon.